What's up, my friends? Thank you so much for joining me today. We're going to talk about a topic that I find intriguing and fascinating, and that is people with borderline personality disorder being prophetic. Many of them, not many, I will say a few, and maybe more than what we know, believe they are prophetic. I'm a Christian, and so on YouTube, I watch a lot of things that are Christian related. And there are a lot, I don't, if you're not into this, you won't know, but there are a lot of people who are claiming to be prophetic that are on YouTube. Many of them are not, so you have to be careful. But there are some that I watch, and I'm finding that some of the top ones, the ones that get the most video watches, are actually, I'm finding that that they have borderline personality disorder, because I'm picking up on things that they're saying. So the question is, are they truly prophetic, or are they just hallucinating? Because borderlines can have auditory and they can hallucinate, they can have delusions that can come with the disorder. Not all of them do, but some of them have that as an issue, and it's not often talked about, right? So I am discovering that some of the people that I enjoy watching are borderlines. So, do are they really prophetic? So let's talk about how prophetic is defined. So, the dictionary Oxford defines it as accurately describing or predicting what will happen in the future. And prophecy is also described by Wikipedia. It says, in religion, a prophecy is a message that has been communicated to a person by a supernatural entity. Prophecies are a feature of many cultures and belief systems and usually contain divine will or law or preternatural knowledge, for example, of future events. And I believe that there are prophetic people that God uses to relay messages to us that can be helpful, or that can steer us or protect us or comfort us. And I believe that to be the case. Do I believe that there are some borderlines that truly are prophetic? I would say yes. I think God can use their ability, and I'm calling it an ability. It's not normally seen as an ability, but a deficit that can actually drive somebody crazy. But I think He can use anything. He can use their ability to hallucinate to convey messages to people, because they have that mechanism always working inside of them, right? What I've seen with these prophetic people, though, where the borderline starts to come in, I think you have to differentiate. I've seen some of these prophetic borderlines who are spot on. Like, it's situations that I'm going through where they call it, and it's like, what? That actually happened. Oh my gosh. This is crazy, you know? So I think sometimes they can be incredibly accurate. I think a couple of things I want to talk about. One, if they learn how to channel it in that way, like, I'm connecting with you, Jesus, I'm connecting with you, and they learn to channel it in that way, I think it can be useful. I think it can be positive. I think it can help people. Um, and I think it can thwart the area of it driving them absolutely crazy. Because I've worked with children, for example, who are hallucinating, and it's extremely scary, it's paralyzing, it's upsetting, it's debilitating, because they're hearing these voices telling them to do things, saying ugly things to them. So if they can channel it in a positive way, and I'm saying this is rare, I don't think all borderlines who hallucinate will be chosen for prophecy, true prophecy. I think still it's a rarity, but I think God does use it for that. And I find that those borderlines seem to be calmer in certain areas because now it has a purpose. I've heard some of them speak about being placed in mental institutions by family members at some point, and they're like, no, God is speaking to me. And there are people who hallucinate where no. Like, no, there's something off. There's no. But these people have partnered with God, and He has partnered with them, I think, to make it work. But I do think there is a lane. I think you have to believe in Jesus yourself, right? That's my belief. I think you develop your own personal relationship with him, right? And I don't care if it's a minister or preacher. My parents always taught me they're humans. You build your relationship with God yourself. So I always keep that in mind. So the borderline still comes into play, and you still have to differentiate and think for yourself. Like, everything they're saying is not true. It's not going to apply to you. It's not going to, some of it is the borderline in play, taking over, right? What I've seen in all of the ones that I think are borderlines, I'm thinking of 3 of them that are prophetic, is there is that area of paranoia where it's this super secretiveness. Like, keep all of these things to yourself. Don't share. Don't eat out of that, don't eat that person's food, or, they may have poisoned you, or don't trust these people. And there's this area of paranoia. So a lot of their videos, or some of their videos, will be very centered on someone is after you, or someone is out to get you type thing. And that's, most people are good. They just are. Most people are healthy. They have good intentions. They don't want to hurt you. And that is an area of borderline that causes them issues because they can be very hypersensitive to things that aren't true. And I see that in some of those prophetic people where I can tell they're pushing family members away. They don't trust them because you're out to get me, you're after me. And it's just not the case. Your brain is trying to protect you and putting you in survival mode when you're actually safe. And those people are not meaning anything bad towards you. So I see that a lot in their videos where you have to kind of, no, you don't have to worry about somebody poisoning you, doing witchcraft on you. All of that is no. No. So even though I think they can be great in some areas because, I've had borderline friends who are like, I feel things, I sense things. And a lot of times they would be very off with what they were sensing. So you have to keep in mind that even though they may think that they are correct in reading people, they're oftentimes very off. But it's because their mind and their body. I remember a girl that I was working with, I offered her some candy. She had borderline personality disorder, and she thought I was trying to poison her. So she was like, have you shared this with anyone else? And I only eat candy if you're giving it, if I see you giving it to big groups of people. See, that's, now most people aren't poisoning you. Like, most people don't think that way. They just open up the bag of candy. You're welcome to have some out of the candy bowl, So you have to be careful with the prophetic borderlines because there are going to be some things that are not going to be accurate. But some of them have some of them are. Some of them are. I think they have access to a world, and even people who are just plain old schizophrenic. I've seen some of those people that are prophetic and they seem very normal otherwise. I think they have tapped into that realm, and that's rare that they can actually be accurate. So we could switch it and say prophetic people are schizophrenic, or prophetic people have borderline personality disorder. You know what I'm saying? Like we could just flip the script, like one of my books is called, and just say, hey, this prophetic person has schizophrenia and they've learned how to channel it in a useful, very accurate way, because they are privy to that layer most of us are not privy to. So yeah, I think they can tap into a layer that the rest of us cannot tap into, and they can become very good at it and normalize themselves with it. So let me know what you think about prophetic borderlines. Have you met any? Are you a borderline and you feel like you're prophetic in some way? Let us know in the comments, because we're super curious. And definitely check out my books if you're having difficulty with relationships, Flip the Script on Love, or my book on narcissists. So that, because another thing about borderlines is narcissists can be very attracted to them. Why? Because they can be very compassionate, right? And so if you're a borderline, you want to know, you want to understand what narcissism looks like so that you can avoid their traps, because they will start to take advantage of you and make you miserable. And you're trying to cope and heal and get better. You don't want to be abused, right? So check out my books. I'll put the link below, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Bye, my wonderful people.